Welcome, fans, to a special episode of Rangers Ed. This is Road to the Playoffs Part 2. This is your host, Cousin Ed. Surprise.
Welcome back.
I know last episode it was told to you that I would be gone for a few weeks, but I am back. I am free. So here we are. The Rangers have clinched the playoffs. We're still awaiting who our first round opponent is going to be. We know we'll be starting on the road. One game left in the regular season tomorrow night versus Toronto. I am here with the whole crew. I got my co-host Little Ed and Coach Ed. Our producer Mikey is here, as well as our 150, Mikey 150. What's up, Mike? E 150. I got to specify. We got 2 Mikes and 3 Eddies, so it's
we got a full. We'll call it a full house. Yeah,
royal flush.
Yeah, jeez, man. What's up,
Come
Mikey?
on, boys. Good to see you.
Where are you again in Canada? What is it, Saskatchewan or something?
Nope, that's out west. I'm as far east as you can go in Newfoundland.
Newfoundland, right?
No, you gotta say it right. Newfoundland. They get pissed if you say it wrong. Yeah, you can't say it like a mainlander.
All right. Well, Newfoundland. So we got a lot to talk. We got a lot to talk about. We got 15 out of 16 playoff teams have clinched. There's one team left up in the air right now. The Islanders are currently playing the Canadiens. They're up 3-2 in the third period. If they win, they clinch. And then we got all 16 teams, but we don't know all the matchups yet as we wait for the end of the season. Before we get started, Little Ed, I saw your post. I didn't know you were at the game against Buffalo, but of course you go to the Buffalo game and they lose, right?
Well, yeah. Coach Ed and I went together. It was their last pair of tickets for our season package. Me, Coach Ed, and Mikey's season package. So yeah, we kind of went into it kind of knowing it was going to be not the best game. I think the Rangers are kind of just saving their energy for the playoffs at this point. I mean, players like Kreider were noticeably not playing hard. So I think he's definitely just saving it up for for a week from today.
Injuries. No injuries, man. That's all that matters.
No, I mean, I wasn't
lingering.
Yeah, other than lingering, going down and blocking shots with his face against Buffalo in the second to last game of the season.
He didn't even miss a shift. He came right back out.
Yeah, he came right back out. Yeah, that was a little scary. We definitely didn't want to lose him. But yeah,
he's back on the bench, Joe.
Yeah,
always great to be at the Garden, no matter what. It was an exciting game. We had Panarin with the 2 snipes. Got to see the overtime. We actually had to leave early for the shootout to catch the train because we weren't going to be sticking around for another hour. Because if the Rangers aren't going to put in the effort, neither are we. So we got out of there and watched the shootout on my phone as we were running to the train. And yeah, we had a nice little food review that I haven't released yet, so I'm going to keep that as a surprise. And yeah. Like I said,
what was the crowd like?
Time. It was pretty weak for the most part. I mean, other than the goals, like we always say, I mean, they're always going to get loud for the goals, but for the most part, it was pretty low key. Igor got some chance because he was making some big saves, but other than that, there wasn't really a lot going on.
That Buffalo goalie stood on his head, man. Jeez.
We had the Stephen McDonald, the Stephen McDonald Award.
Oh, you saw that? You were there.
Oh yeah.
The crowd was pretty up for that, and the Phantom of the Opera singer sang the national anthem. That was pretty good.
Coach, did you vote for the Stephen McDonald Award, or did you just watch it? You didn't place a vote.
I did not vote. Wasn't aware that you could vote. I don't know how to do it.
Eddie, did you vote?
I didn't know you could vote either. I didn't.
Oh, I sent you guys the link.
I voted.
Oh.
Mikey, you voted. I voted. Mikey? I voted for VC.
Nice. I voted for Lindgren.
Nice.
I mean, Lindgren deserves it for sure.
I mean, he's been hurt he missed like 30 games this year or something. Like, I don't know. Yeah, he's an important part of the team, so I'm not going to complain. But all right, well, Buffalo is well, Coach, give me a break. So Buffalo was fighting for their playoff lives in that game, so they played well and their goalie played fantastic, and they ended up winning, but they got smoked by New Jersey the next day, ending their playoff bid.
Well, I actually I actually said the opposite to Coach on the train home. I was like, for a team that's fighting or playing for their lives, like you just said, I don't think Buffalo really played that strong of a game. I think the Rangers kind of just beat
Well, their
themselves.
goalie did. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
their
goalie
was
played
fantastic.
phenomenal, and the Rangers just, like I said, they didn't really 100% showed up. They didn't play a horrible game. It wasn't like horrible to watch, but players. I mean, Keandre had another terrible game.
He was awful.
I feel like me and Coach shouldn't watch games together anymore because every time we do, Keandre just shits the bed. So
he was terrible in that game.
But
even before the giveaway for the goal, he had like 3 giveaways that were just foolish.
Yeah, he's either like amazing or horrible. I don't know what's going on with him, but anyway. All right, so this is not an episode number, so we're not doing jersey numbers, but we're gonna throw it over to Oscar's Pro Stitch Hockey. We love Oscar, so shout out to Oscar's Pro Stitch Hockey.
Our buddy Oscar, a huge Rangers fan himself, started his company by stitching his own blue shirts. Once he perfected his craft and started to fall in love with his work, the man started to grow. Oscar stitches every jersey with love and dedication to authenticity, which never disappoints. His talent is hard to find in any store out there. Are you like Cousin Ed? You have a lingering jersey curse that every player he gets a jersey of gets traded or injured and hurts the Rangers team? You want to change things up? You want to take an Eric Lindros jersey and make it a vintage Ken Hodge jersey in the late 70s? Got an old jersey collecting dust in your closet? Want to throw your name on the back and add a nice number of one of your favorite players? You can bring it back to life with a brand new kit at Oscar's Pro Stitch. So head on over to Oscar's Instagram at Oscars PSH. That's OSCARS PSH to check out the countless tarps he's already done and to place the order for his next one that possibly can post on Instagram and get ready to wear it to the next Ranger game or any event that you have coming up. Tell them the boys from Rangers Ed sent you and receive a special discount at Oscar's Pro Stitch Hockey. Go get them, Rangers.
You know, funny that we do this and I hear the jersey, Cousin Eddie's jersey curse, like nonsense. I get, so Tennessee Meg, shout out to Tennessee Meg and Suitor Sweet Treats, sends me a Filipino cookie.
Oh my gosh.
The cookie breaks in half in transit. It is currently in plastic, broken in half. And I sent you guys the image and little Ed texts and he's like, oh my God, it's broken. And then within minutes, Heedle signed a 4-year extension at a very reasonable cap hit. We were worried about that, what he was going to cost after a 20-goal year, $4.375 million AAV. So little Ed, as the commissioner of my jersey curse, isn't that the end of the jersey curse? Can I buy a freaking jersey now?
Yeah, you could buy a Heedle jersey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you're safe to buy a Heedle jersey. Yeah, I think Oscar, I think we're safe. I think the jersey curse is semi-broken, and we could officially at least test it on a viable player. Yeah.
I mean, you got the cookie broke. It's not the jersey, so that's not officially the curse.
Yeah, but, like part of the curse was like the Santana ornament. There was a few other instances.
So I got a Johan Santana ornament from Hallmark, and it broke on the elbow in transit. So when I opened it for Christmas, it was literally broken. I had to crazy glue the arm to the elbow. It was like an in motion lefty throw, right? And yeah, he then blew out his elbow that season. No, that season he blew out his elbow, and he never was the same. His career
was never the same.
Not over yet. There's one more game.
Oh,
yeah, so if Heedle breaks his back on the spine, we know that I'm screwed.
Oh my God!
It's like if his spine breaks down the middle.
There was a couple of plays where we thought he was going to get crushed. He avoided it.
Oh wow! Yeah.
I debuted the Schneider jersey at the Garden the other night, Oscar.
Yep, he looked good. He made the reel a few times.
Yeah, you might have to add a patch to that this year, depending on how far the Rangers go, Coach. That's a beautiful jersey, though. But all right, so we brought Mikey 150 on. We want to talk a little playoffs here. I mean, we got 15 out of the 16 teams in. The Rangers, obviously, they played 4 games. We're kind of just counting down the days to the playoffs here. We start Monday, April 17th. One game left in the season. Yeah, the team goes 2-0-2. I mean, they're going through the motions mostly. They played well in the Tampa game. That was a hard-fought game. I looked at the fights. when I was doing the outline. I actually missed that game because I was busy with work. 4 fights in that game. Ben Harper had 2 of them. He beat the snot out of Corey Perry. I'm sad I missed that. I hate Corey Perry, but Rangers played well, but they're pretty. I mean, I predict the Toronto game is just going to be like nobody get hurt for both teams, right? They're both locked in.
It's a pond hockey game.
Yeah, it's just going to be it's not going to be a physical game or anything. So, we don't know who we're going to play. The Rangers are either going to play Carolina in Carolina or New Jersey. It depends. So the Hurricanes play the Panthers on Thursday, and the Devils play the Blue Jackets. Is that right, Mikey? I think they play the Blue Jackets.
I believe the Devils have the
No,
Blue.
wait, I think.
Oh, no, Pittsburgh has
Penguins.
the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, the Penguins
have
do.
Blue
Sorry.
Jackets,
Who are the Devils playing tomorrow? That's a week
Washington.
Washington. So, what's your prediction? Who the Rangers gonna, end up playing? We'll start with Mikey 150. We'll go to Mikey Produces after that, and we'll just go around the horn here. Who are the Rangers going to open up against? Is it going to be New Jersey or is it going to be Carolina?
Man, that's a tough one. That Carolina-Florida game is going to be incredible tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think Carolina wants home ice. I mean, you got to think they want Florida over the Rangers, right? I mean, Florida's kind of riding. They're not really solidified between the pipes. Like, who are they even going to play in net when they make the playoffs? So I mean, you got to think they want to play Florida. So I'd say they're gonna be pretty all in for that game. But honestly, I'd say Florida's probably gonna take that. I think Florida's gonna win. They've been playing really well down the stretch, and my God, that team can score goals. I mean, they've one of the best goals for in the league this year. I think they're putting up like 265. And Carolina's not really a team that scores a lot of goals, so I think Florida can take them. I think we're gonna see Carolina against the Rangers in round 1.
So you think Devils open up as division winners?
Yeah, I think so. Which is funny because in the 150 way back when I said, when Carolina took over first place, I said this is the last time the Devils are going to sniff first place this entire season. Wouldn't that be karma if they sneak back in there in the last game?
All right, so you got Carolina Rangers and New Jersey, Florida would be the matchups then. Mikey Produces, what do you got?
I think I got to agree with Mikey P on this one. I have a funny feeling that Carolina's going to Florida tomorrow as well, and I think we're going to see Carolina in the playoffs first round.
All right, Coach.
I mean, I don't see Brindamore not wanting to win every game he coaches or is a part of, so he's got to push that team to the limit. It's a matter of that Florida goalie. Is that kid Lyons going to play again? What's his name? Lyons? Playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
He's a journeyman goalie. I mean, I don't know how long it could last. I don't know. It's a tough one to predict. I'll just go against you guys' predictions, and I'll go with Carolina winning it.
Little Ed?
I'm going to go with Rangers at Carolina to start off the playoffs. I think Mikey 150 broke it down pretty well right there. And, yeah, I think so that series or that game means, or it could potentially mean like an 8-game series, you're saying. So if Carolina beats the Panthers, it could go 8 games in a row with the same team. So that could be.
If Carolina, it's interesting because if Carolina wins that game, Carolina wins the division. Mm-hmm. And then they will play the Islanders, not the Panthers, if they win that game in regulation. Because the Islanders will pass the Panthers with a win against Montreal tonight. So if Carolina wins, Carolina will excuse me, play the Islanders. Florida will play Boston. If Florida wins that game, they play the division winner of the Metro, and the Islanders will play Boston. Assuming the Islanders finish off the Habs tonight. Obviously, that game is still
3-2 with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, it's still on right now. So it's very interesting how it's all going to play out. But I agree with Mikey also. I think the Panthers are going to win that game outright, and I think the Devils are going to crush Washington. So I think New Jersey is going to open against the Panthers, and the Rangers will be in Carolina on Monday, which begs the next question. And we'll start with Little Ed and go around the horn opposite. And I hate to do this because I'm a big believer in careful what you wish for. But who would you rather the Rangers open up against, New Jersey or Carolina?
I mean, I've been saying it for a while that I'm not really necessarily worried about either team. I think the Rangers can take care of business against both teams. I think they have Carolina's number this season, and even though they lost 2 out of the 3 games to the Devils, I think they could figure it out for the playoffs. And I think the Rangers are just going to show up for the playoffs. I think they have the team. They all have the pedigree. I don't think the team that we've been seeing the last couple of games is the Rangers team we're going to see in the playoffs. But to answer your question, I think I'm going to go with Carolina. I mean, they're just not doing it for me right now, just in general. Ever since they lost Svechnikov, they obviously took a real bad slide offensively. And Pacioretty obviously also was a huge loss for them, and they didn't really do anything at the trade deadline. So I really don't see them being an issue. The only worry that they give me is obviously they're very well coached, and they can really just grind you down. But I think the Rangers just are going to take them down. So Carolina for me.
Coach.
I'm not afraid of either team either. I'd rather play Carolina. I think they got their number, and I know they have a pretty strong defense on paper, but I don't know if they can handle the 3 lines that the Rangers have to put out there.
Which one?
Produces. We're going around the horn in order.
Gotcha now. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it back to what Jeff said. You know, playing New Jersey in the first round, I think is a lot of pressure on the Rangers. So, taking a page out of Little Ed's book, we do have Carolina's number this year. So, I think I'd rather play Carolina than New Jersey.
So, Mikey 150, you're not a Ranger fan, so it's not who would you rather play. I'll pose the question to you. Who do you think the Rangers have a better chance of beating?
Carolina, not even a question. They're just limping into the playoffs. I mean, seriously limping. New Jersey's a good team, man. They're fast. They can skate with the Rangers. They can give the Rangers some serious trouble. Like, the Rangers are big on the back end, but they're not very fast. And New Jersey's a very fast team. Carolina, like Coach said, they are very well coached. They are solid on the back end, but I think the Rangers can outscore Carolina.
Yeah, so, I tend to agree with everything you guys are saying, but I wonder, is there a little bit of, inexperience and a wide-eyed nature to New Jersey where catching them in round 1 would be better than catching them in round 2, right? So if New Jersey wins the division and beats Florida or whatever, and they move on to round 2, they're going to have that confidence. This is their first time in the playoffs with this group. So I think playing New Jersey in round 2 would actually be worse than playing them in round 1. So if we're going to have to go through them, I think it might be better for the Rangers to go through them in the first round, to be honest.
That's a good point.
But I don't know. Because look at the Rangers last year, right? The Rangers, were a new team, and they had the experience issues that New Jersey is facing this year. And once the Rangers got to the second round, they went down 2-0 to Carolina, and they ended up winning 4 of the next 5. And they had full confidence in their group after coming back from down 3-1 to Pittsburgh. So, I just worry about hitting New Jersey in round 2 more than round 1.
So Jersey will either have Florida or the Islanders.
If Jersey wins,
if they win the division.
If Jersey beats Washington, that means Carolina lost to Florida, and that means Jersey would play Florida. If Carolina wins, they'll get either the Islanders, depending on what they do tonight, or Florida. We don't know.
Yeah, so you got to think that the Devils will be a little bit beat up going into round 2 as well. I mean, they're a fast team, but I don't think they're a very strong team. So I think that's going to be a factor. I've been saying that all year.
Yeah, I just worry. Can Jacob Trouba actually line up Jack Hughes? Right? If he can, then great. But
I'm saying if the Devils play someone else in round 1, I think they'll get beat up a little bit. Maybe not horribly, but it's just obviously the playoffs are a grind, and they don't have a lot of experience, and they can get tired. And if they get beat up and they're not used to the playoff style of hockey, I don't know. You can look at it both ways.
I would
mean, the
rather the Devils
goaltending-
play the Islanders, but they won't be able to.
Yeah.
Won't happen.
What's his name? Vanacek's going to face a different kind of pressure in the playoffs. So, it's a question mark. I just don't think the Devils. I've been saying it all year with the kid Jeff. I just don't see the Devils' defense being strong. Defensemen, I don't see it.
Neil,
I want to see
Jeff
what they can do.
Jeff is from Mind Your
Neil,
Fucking Business. Neil is from Devil's State of Mind.
I don't see it. I don't see that defense being strong for the playoffs. It could be wrong, but we'll see.
No, I agree with you. I think, I look at their defense like Dougie Hamilton, John Marino, like not worried about their defense.
Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm just not worried about their defense at all.
No.
I mean,
so you agree with me, Dougie Hamilton, that he's so overrated? It's incredible.
Ever since that play, do you guys remember that play in the playoffs when he let
Ovechkin went to hit him?
Never again. Never trust that man on the blue line after that play.
I love you, Mike.
Forever black book. Want nothing to do with him. Dougie footsteps.
I watched him play. I watched him play, and he just he got the points against the Rangers, just throwing the puck at the net. I realize it's a good percentage play. He throws the puck at the net, rebound, pass to another guy, and the guy scores. Come on, that's not a breakout play out of the zone or an Adam Fox or a Cale Makar type of play. Yeah, he's got 20 goals. I get it, but I don't know. I don't see it.
Trash. I agree. He's garbage. And he looks like Peyton Manning. He's got that look like he's always about to cry.
Eli or Peyton?
Both of them. It's genetic.
Listen,
4-2
Eli Manning's
Islanders, by the way.
Two-time Super Bowl MVP. Settle down over there. Anyway.
Hey, Ranger fans, springtime is here, and that means three things. NHL playoffs are here, indoor-outdoor house projects are ready to start, and your tax refund check should be coming very soon to put towards those outdoor projects. So get going with that kitchen or bath project or even the bar top in your Ranger room in the basement. One thing for sure, when you're ready to order your custom countertop, you can count on Bella Marble and Granite for your needs. The large stores may toe drag you in with false discounts, dealing with multiple people, phone discussions over and over, and even those teleprompter phone calls where you have to hit buttons to try to talk to someone. Avoid that frustration and call the boys at Bella. Visit their shop. Very simple. Pick out your stone. When the job is ready, you'll be one-on-one with the owners. They'll come to the house. They'll template the countertop, cut the stone, bring it back and install it in a prompt and professional manner. So head on over to Bella Marble, Granite, and Quartz at 3459 Lawson Boulevard in Oceanside. That's in New York, not out in California. I know we have a worldwide platform now. Tell them Coach Ed sent you. Discuss a little Rangers chat over in the office. Maybe you'll get a little extra discount on the side. And I've been dealing with them for 4 or 5 years on all my construction projects all over Long Island, and they've been steady and very professional all the way through. So give them a call over there and get going on those projects. Keep the wife happy so you can watch your playoffs all season long.
Anyway, so, the thing is that, we don't have these playoff matchups solidified. So we don't really know who is going to match up with who. But, I think for New Jersey, it's a final. The Islanders win, so they clinch the playoffs. Pittsburgh is eliminated for the first time in 17 seasons. No Crosby, no Ovechkin in the playoffs since the first time since 06? I mean, geez, man.
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's their first season.
End of an era. So the Islanders pass Florida. They currently line up against Carolina with Florida against Boston. So Mikey, let's throw it over to you. Florida wins and they play the winner of the Metro tomorrow night. Florida loses, they play Boston. Who would you rather play, Florida or the Islanders?
Probably the Islanders.
Islanders just clinched. I don't know if that changes anything.
What's that?
The Islanders just clinched officially.
No,
I don't know if
I said that.
Yeah,
they
so
clinched.
if Florida wins tomorrow night, then we'll get the Islanders. But if they lose, then we'll get Florida. So I would much rather play the Islanders. I mean, look, the Bruins have the best defense in the NHL. There's no real question there. I mean, defense
There
and
we go.
goalie combined. It's just they're a hard team to win against. And for the Islanders, they don't really win by scoring goals. They really win by preventing their opponents from scoring goals and then scooping up a couple trash ones. So I think we match up a lot better with a team like that. I mean, Carolina, they're missing a couple scores, but they're still big and they'll still pound you. And it's a tough matchup. So
No, listen, I don't agree. I think the better matchup for Boston is Florida. I think you guys will shut Florida down. You guys play a sound defensive neutral zone game, and Florida's not going to do anything against Boston. Whereas the Islanders, I think, play a similar style game to Boston. I think they're like a Boston light almost. And they have Ilya Sorokin, who I know Linus Ullmark is going to win the Vezina, but Sorokin should win the Vezina. And I know Sean at Hockey Night in New York will love that I said that. So, Eddie, you can clip that and send it to him. Sorokin should be the Vezina Trophy winner. And he could steal a series. So, I mean, I think Islanders-Boston could go 7 games. And I think Florida-Boston wins that in 5, maybe 4 even. So,
hey, I hope you're right.
Now, I personally think Boston matches up better against Florida because of the play style. I don't know, Little Ed, do you agree or no?
I don't know about
Coach Ed, I guess. Coach Ed's is going, so.
I don't know about the guy Lambert coaching the Islanders in the playoffs. I mean, I just don't see that team doing much, even with Sorokin. I don't know. I'm sorry. Horvat hasn't done much in the last 10 games or so, or 12 games, some ridiculous stat, that Sean was raving about. He hasn't done much at all. I don't see it. I don't see them doing much against anybody. I mean, Sorokin would really have to steal any series that they win.
They can't score goals.
But he can.
Yeah, so Ed, what was your question?
So who's a better matchup for Boston? I mean, I personally think Florida is a better matchup for Boston than the Islanders are. Because
I think so too, because I'm not comparing the Islanders to Boston, but I think if in terms of like style of play, the Islanders are the closest team to Boston, like just discipline and a little bit more defensive structure and things like that. So I think if anyone's going to have a chance at beating Boston, I think it's going to be the Islanders. So I think, Boston should play or want to play Florida.
Yeah, they keep the game close, get opportunistic, and they win 2-1 on a BS goal late in the third or something. Yeah. I mean, I could totally see them stealing a couple games that way with outstanding.
Plus what Coach Ed said. Yeah, plus what Coach Ed said too. The other goalie Lions on Florida, he could fall apart at any moment. I mean, Sorokin could have a bad game and then bounce back and shut you out the next game.
Counterpoint, look at George Bennington in 2019.
Oh, he's a head case.
I mean, the same scenario. He came in untested at the end of the season and carried that team to a Stanley Cup. So
no, you're right. You're right. And he was tested a little bit here and there in the playoffs. He had some bad games, if I remember correctly. So I guess you never know. But just in my opinion, I think you definitely have a better chance against Florida.
Mike, what's up with Ullmark? I saw he got hurt. They took him out of the game. Is he all right?
Montgomery in his presser after the game, he said he just did his something tightened up, and they just pulled him just for precautionary reasons.
So the one good reason for the Rangers fans out there, one reason you should be rooting for Florida, aside from the fact that the Islanders will probably lose to Boston and we want them eliminated, is they'll be in the Atlantic bracket. So if the Islanders end up playing the Metro winner and say Florida loses to Carolina, Carolina will play the Islanders in round 1, and New Jersey will play the Rangers. So we could beat New Jersey, get to round 2, and then have to play the Islanders in round 2. And I just do not want to do that. Look, like I'm not scared
of
playing the Islanders or the Devils, but I don't want to go through 2 series. What? Come on, Little Ed's got to agree with me. It's not that I'm scared.
What did Coach say?
He said he wants to see it. He wants to play the Islanders. I don't want to play New Jersey or the Islanders in the playoffs. I just want them to suck.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm scared. I just don't. If they lose, I'm going to be so pissed for
You live in
6
Florida.
months.
What are you worried about? We got to deal with it up here.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
But yeah, I don't know. It would be fun. There would be a lot of content. I mean, we do have some content lined up with Neil over at Devil's State of Mind if and when it happens. And I'm sure we'd have a ton of content with Sean over at Hockey Night in New York. But I'm not going to be a slave to the content. And I'm going to say I do not want to go through that.
No, I don't want to go through it. Imagine, Coach, the Rangers lose. They outshoot the Devils 40-25 in game 1 and lose 3-2 in overtime. And now you got to wait 2 days to play game 2. You're down 1-0. You're dealing with all the Devils fans. Then they win game 2. Then they lose game 3.
I dealt with the
win game
Devils
4.
fans in '94. I dealt with this stuff.
And then they win in 7. They win in 7 and they move on. And then they face the Islanders, who just beat Carolina in 7. And we go
How about
through
having a
all
little
again.
confidence? How about having a little confidence and saying we're going to take care of the Devils? And it's going to be even sweeter, and then we're going to sweep the Islanders or something to that effect and shut them up too.
I don't
Coach,
think
I'm with you, man.
There's a 0% chance they sweep the Islanders.
I
Don't
don't
say
think
that.
happens.
They
No, I
had
don't think that'll
Sorokin's
happen.
number the last game.
No, I love
Come
this
on.
team is definitely different, but I mean, if
I don't see them.
if
I don't
history
see a
repeats
I'm not
sweep.
saying they're
itself,
going to
we're
sweep
gonna
them,
get
but let's
tortured.
beat them down a little bit. Let's beat
Coach,
them down.
the East is too good. I don't really. I don't know. Aside from Boston, I
We
don't
also
really
have
see
one of the
any
best goalies
sweep.
in the league too that could shut teams down. So
Well,
add that into the
Coach.
mix.
Okay, Coach. So you're getting cocky, but you bring up
I'm
a
not
good
getting
point.
cocky. You got to go
You
in
are.
with a
You're
little
getting
bit
cocky.
of, you know.
We're not playing, so we don't have to be that way. The players should hopefully be that way, but I don't have to be that
Coach
way.
is going to be the e-bug.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Like, Coach is like, we got to get pumped. Like, you have confidence. Like, dude, I'm not playing. So, like, no, I don't. But anyway, so you bring up Shesterkin, one of the best goalies in the league. He's been hot lately. He's up to 5th in the NHL. And
Behind
goals saved
Georgiev
above.
and wins, by the way.
Wins is a team stat, not a goal
I know,
stat.
I
so
know,
don't care.
I know.
But he's 5th in the NHL and goals saved above expected. Sorokin is obviously first by like 12 goals, but Igor could be an X factor. I mean, when you look around the Eastern Conference, you look at the matchups. Carolina, goaltending's a question mark. New Jersey, goaltending's a question mark. Toronto, question mark. Tampa, it's not. Boston, it's not. Florida's a question mark. Islanders is a question mark because Sorokin's never really been tested, but he's a stud, right? So we'll say no to them. Half the teams in the East have goaltending as a question mark, in my opinion. And Igor can really be the difference in any of those series. So Shesterkin against Vasilevsky, Shesterkin against Sorokin. I think we match up fine, Again, in any of those matchups, we can win if Igor is on top of his game. So, I mean, Coach, do you think Igor is the X factor? I mean, the team is obviously he's the X factor, though.
There's no team in the league that's going to overpower a weak goaltender that they have on their team. When you're playing a team like Boston with one of the best goalies, if you're Carolina with one of their goalies, you're not going to match up. It would have to be a career series for that goalie.
Well, I mean, Darcy
from.
Kemper won the Stanley Cup last year, so you can overcome an average goaltender with elite talent. The Rangers have elite talent.
So what team has that Colorado elite talent with a weak goalie? Not a weak
Maple
goalie,
Leafs.
an average goalie.
Toronto.
Maple Leafs.
All right, so then I give them a shot, but other than that, I don't see anybody else.
Yeah.
And Toronto hasn't proven with their record. They weren't playing like Colorado was last year. They weren't beating teams. They're losing a lot of games that you'd say they should win because of their weak defense and goaltending. And Colorado also has Cale Makar and Jack Johnson on the back end.
Colorado has Alexander Georgiev in net, so I'm not worried about Colorado. But before we talk about Toronto, Tampa, which I do want to talk about, I want your
chomping at the bit over there to talk about Toronto.
Yeah, I want you and Producies to chime in on Shesterkin.
Without a doubt, I mean, there's no secret that's the goal, or that's the Rangers' biggest strength. I mean, obviously they have a lot of offensive power, but it all falls on goaltending, and that doesn't just go for the Rangers. That goes for anybody. I mean, I know you just made a good example last year with Darcy Kemper, but I think he's still a very good goalie. I mean, not really taking away from him too much, but I think that was kind of an enigma in comparison. I think you really just need a hot goalie all around. And the Colorado also had what was his name, Francois, right? He stepped in for a few games. Not going to take anything away from Halak, but I don't necessarily trust him going into a full series. God forbid Shesterkin goes down. So yeah, without a doubt, Shesterkin's got to carry the Rangers throughout the playoffs.
What do they always say, Coach? It starts up the middle, right?
Yep, from the goal out.
We've been saying it all year that, we haven't seen Igor play to that elite level. Just wait for the playoffs. We got to wait for the playoffs, and playoffs are here. So he needs to show up. Absolutely needs to show up. And
he has been showing up. He's been hot lately in these games since the last recording. He's 2-0-1 with a .944 save percentage, 1.63 goals against, and a shutout. So we expect Igor to be on top of his game. But so Mikey 150. Let's talk a little bit outside the Rangers. Let's talk Toronto, Tampa. Toronto, how many years in a row have they lost round one? Is it 5 years now? 4?
4 or 5? They must have missed the playoffs at least one of those years.
Produces. Look up how many consecutive seasons Toronto has lost round one. I think it's 4. I want to say 4. So Tampa at Toronto, 7-game series. Who's taking that series?
Toronto.
You think so?
100%.
I agree. I think they're due, man. I don't know. Vasilevsky could steal it.
I think it's less so that they're due and more so that Tampa is just – they have been so bad for the last month or so. I mean, like really, really bad in almost every facet of their game. Yeah. And, I mean, look at their road record. Their road record, if you look at the top 3 teams in every division, I mean, they're – the max, I'd say the most losses you'll see of any one of them on the road is maybe 13 or 14. None of them are sub 500. None of them are even close to 500. And then Tampa is 18, 22, and 1. They're terrible on the road. And,
but the playoffs is a different game, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but
they're a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. They've been to 3 consecutive Stanley Cup finals.
Yeah, but how much of those teams is still on Tampa outside of their top 6?
They're all stars. They're elite players.
You have Vasilevsky, Stamkos, Hedman,
Kucherov, Point.
You have a team that could win.
Yeah, that could win. Yeah.
I would be afraid to play them.
Any of these teams could win. It's not a question.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if Tampa Bay is in the Stanley Cup Finals again. I would not be surprised.
No, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't.
I'd be pretty surprised.
And you got what's his name? What's his name? Braden Point. Point's got 50 goals.
I know, and he was hurt last year.
Tanner Jeannot got hurt after they gave up all those draft picks for him.
I'm not worried about Tanner Jeannot.
Mikey P, what's your opinion on Olmark? I know he's having a phenomenal season, but is he that good, or is it a product of the team and the combination?
He is really good. Like, even going back to Buffalo, that season before he came over to Boston, when they were dead last in the league, he started that year 9-0-1 with Buffalo before he got hurt. Like, he is a really good goalie. Like, really, really, really good. There's no doubt about it.
Settle down.
He is.
I'm asking his opinion. I don't watch him every night, so
he's incredible, man. Like, that's one of the best signings the Bruins have had in a long time. Like, he's on term for about $5.5 million. So he's pretty good.
Yeah, but goalies is a position that fluctuates mostly year to year. I mean, we've been spoiled as Ranger fans with Henrik Lundqvist, who is one of the most consistent players at the position in history. But look at Shesterkin. Last year, .930 save percentage, Vezina Trophy this year. On and off, right? 916, only a couple shutouts. Yeah, he's got the 37 wins. The team is good. I don't know, man. Olmark, I look at it. I just look at his career numbers. He's mostly, league average or a little better in the save percentage department. And this year, all of a sudden, he's got a 940 save percentage. And you think that's what he's going to do?
Yeah, but I mean, he played on Buffalo all those years.
All right, he was on Boston last year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. But the other thing is the Bruins also have Jeremy Swayman. Like, as good a year as Allmark's having, Jeremy Swayman's like top 5 in every major goaltending category as well.
Well,
And he
that's what
doesn't
goes
really-
to show you it's the team that
Yeah,
is
100%.
causing those stats and not the goalie.
I mean,
it's not always the team. It's
I don't know
a
about
factor
that.
for sure. It's definitely a factor, but I'm asking skill wise. You're watching him every night. That's why I'm asking it. Do you see him? Because didn't he do something off season that really turned his life around or something?
I don't know.
I thought there was like an epiphany he had in Sweden or whatever.
I would not be surprised if Allmark gets lit up in the
Mikey
playoffs.
producing.
I would not be
Look it
shocked.
up.
Look
I
that
thought
up.
Sam Rosen said something.
Yeah,
I would
no,
not
I
be
don't know, I think-
surprised if he gets lit up in the playoffs. Would not be surprised. Mikey,
Well,
I do have.
it happened to Markstrom last year, right? He had a Vezina type season. He got lit up in the playoffs and came back this year, and he didn't do too well.
And Markstrom
We'll see.
wasn't on Boston.
No, I'm just
Mikey,
they were a
Toronto.
good team.
consecutive
back to
years.
Toronto.
You know the answer?
So if you want to count the COVID year 2020, because they lost for the qualifying round, they didn't lose in the first round.
They lost to
playoffs, but
Montreal, right? A team
Yeah.
that didn't even
Since
qualify.
2017. 2017, they've lost every single year. since then.
2017 in the spring or in 2018 in the spring?
2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Wait, so the first season that they lost, was it the 17-18 season or the 16-17?
I don't know, Ed.
17,
I'm telling you
18,
the years.
19, 20?
2017 playoffs, 2018 playoffs, because they say the 2023 Stanley Cup
Six
playoffs.
straight seasons. 6 straight seasons they've lost in the first round.
That's rough.
That is horrible.
And
I think
Kyle
they do
Dubas
it.
still has a job.
I think they win this year, though. I think they beat Tampa. I'm with you, Mikey.
I
Ed, you got
agree. I
Tampa or
think they got
Toronto?
Tampa.
Tampa?
No, I'm sorry, Toronto.
I agree.
Tampa's falling off. They definitely look beat up. I think that's the end of the road for them. They might come back strong next year, but I think they need a little bit of a break. They need an off season.
Coach, Tampa or Toronto?
They're exhausted.
I'm going to go with
Vasilevsky looks
Toronto. I'm
more
going to go
human
with
than he ever has.
Toronto. Yeah, I want to go with Toronto. I just want to see Jackie Redmond be happy.
Coach is romantic. Mikey produces.
Yeah, I'll go Toronto. Let's not break the
Across the board, Toronto over Tampa. I like that.
I mean, I'm an original 6 guy. I like Toronto. They're one of my teams I like.
If the Rangers don't win, I wouldn't mind Toronto winning. It's been like 60 years for their fans.
Yeah.
It's a long time. It's a long time.
The last time they won, Stemkowski got the ring.
It's a long time. It's a long time. So I think what we're going to do, by the way, this weekend, we're going to do the brackets. So check out their Instagram. We're going to post our link to the NHL.com brackets. But I think, Ed, I haven't talked to you about this, but I think what we should do is all members of the podcast, except for Mikey 150, have to pick the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup. We have no choice. So we have to.
I'm going to. Why wouldn't you?
Eddie didn't last year.
I know he didn't. I mean, like,
hold on. So we're gonna. This is just let me say the rules here so the fans know. So I think what we'll do is all members of the podcast have to pick the Rangers. Mikey 150, you have to pick Boston. All the fans can pick whoever they want, and whoever wins, right? So if the Rangers win, one of us is going to win, and that sucks to the fans. But whoever wins,
they might pick them too.
Right. We'll give them a Lundqvist banner, right?
Well, I have something in mind. I have another gift in mind that I think I'm going to give away to the winner.
All right, so we'll do that. We'll do a Lundqvist banner plus a surprise from Little Ed to the winner of the bracket. Right, so we'll do a bracket challenge. I think that'll be fun. We got to pick the Rangers to win, though. because that gives
So I guess you did listen to the last episode because we weren't going to tell you about the bracket challenge.
Oh, I did.
We
but I
didn't want
must
you to
have missed
win.
the end of it. Oh,
Yeah, you must not have gotten all the way to the end.
no, I didn't hear the end.
Like,
of
we're
it.
not going to
That's
tell
cool.
Cousin Ed. We'll see if he listens to the episode. We'll release the bracket and don't give him a login.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear that part. I must have stopped in the middle. That's funny.
Oh shit.
Okay, so we'll post that. We'll get that out there. Mikey, any other matchups intrigue you right now? Or we're wrapping up here in the next few minutes. So we got out west a ton of good matchups. We're looking.
Yeah, Edmonton, LA is going to be a pretty good one. If that's how that shakes out, that'll be an awesome matchup, like a really, really awesome matchup. And definitely watch out for Seattle. No one's giving them any love. Like they're a really good team. Like their team full of second liners, just like Vegas was when they went to the Cup. And man, they could make a run. Like I know Dallas is really they look really good, but man, Seattle's a really good squad.
We got Dallas lined up with
locked
Minnesota. Dallas is lined up with Minnesota right now. Colorado's with Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that division's up in the air. I think there's still a game left, so it could be Dallas, Seattle. I don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah,
Two
so
games.
Colorado and
Dallas.
Dallas both got 2 games left, and Dallas is 1 point back. So
Right,
There-
so that's going to be a
There's
battle.
absolutely no way LA is going to beat Edmonton. LA is.
I don't think
not
so
gonna
either.
go.
But regardless, I think it's going to be an awesome
A
series.
good series. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that.
I think
LA's gonna
Vegas
give them some
Winnipeg will be a
trouble.
fun series too. There's a lot of good players in that series. That's going to be a good matchup. Hellebuck is a good goalie. He could steal that from Vegas. But I agree, so Ranger fans should be paying close attention to the Dallas Minnesota series if that goes. To whoever Dallas plays, because the Rangers own the better of their own first round pick and Dallas's. So we want Dallas to be out in the first round no matter who they play. Root against Dallas. Earliest possible first round pick we can get. And also,
You are the only person.
We
you are
need
the
that
only
22nd
person-
overall pick, boys.
Yeah.
you want.
You are the only
need that
person
22nd
that's
pick.
thinking about this.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Other
Trust
than
me.
Chris Drury.
Trust me, there's plenty of people thinking about it. So you pay attention to that. But as far as hockey goes, I really think the Rangers have a really good opportunity to win the Cup this year. It's wide open. So I'm going to be rooting out west against all the top teams. I want all the lower teams to mostly win those series, just in case. Like, get Colorado out as soon as possible. Get Edmonton out. Vegas, right? I don't know. Just get them out because we got a chance to make a run this year. And I do not want to lose in the Stanley Cup Finals to Alexander Georgiev. Please, God, don't let that happen.
That'd be horrible. Who do you got coming out of the West, Mikey, before we close up here?
Edmonton.
Edmonton.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think they're
strong.
goaltending, though. I don't know.
Not
I
many
don't know.
strong
McDavid can play
goaltenders
goalie,
in the
too.
West. What'd you say?
And McDavid probably playing that too.
You might have to at some point.
Yeah.
Coach, who you got coming out of the West?
I'm going to go with Colorado.
Little Ed,
I gotta go with Colorado.
Mikey.
Wait,
Going
go ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
going with the underdogs. I'm going with Seattle.
Seattle to the
bold move,
finals?
Cotton.
Seattle to the Stanley Cup Finals. Does
I love
is
it.
Cale McCarr still hurt or is he back?
Good question.
He's going to play.
I'll tell you who
gonna
the
obviously
sleeper
be a
team
huge
is. The
factor.
sleeper team out of the West that'll make a great story is Vegas with Jonathan Quick.
Vegas for sure, but I think Winnipeg has a really good chance of beating Vegas. And I think Winnipeg is a good team that can make a run.
I don't think
But-
so. Too up and
Man,
down.
they're so bad the last month.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. They
They
got a
backed
solid
into
squad.
the playoffs. They're up and down.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay. I
I
mean,
don't
they got
do it.
Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, Nikolai
I'm aware of
Ehlers.
that
Shifley's
lineup.
soft.
He's got 40 goals.
Yeah, he's still
Soft all he
soft.
wants. All right.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Kyle Connor. And don't forget Neil Pionk.
Yeah,
Right.
that I didn't forget.
And
No.
Josh Morrissey had an average last quarter of the season. And
The thing about Winnipeg that stands out to me, that
Morrissey's
I think they can
overrated
upset
too. He's
Vegas.
another guy.
He is overrated, but they can upset Vegas because of Connor Hellebuck.
I watched
that is-
Morrissey. We watched Morrissey in person. I watched him against the Islanders. Overrated.
yeah, and Vegas doesn't have a goalie. Like, all the respect in the world to Jonathan Quick, but he's not Jonathan Quick a decade ago.
I'm just saying he might have a resurgence. Power
Yeah.
play. Who knows?
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
all.
Before we wrap up too, I want to do the East. So Mikey, aside from Boston, if Boston is eliminated, who comes out of the Eastern Conference?
I mean, I'll say the Rangers. I'll give you that.
All right.
I
Thanks.
think that's legit. I don't see anybody else coming out.
I can tell you put a lot of thought into that one.
You don't think
Well, I mean-
Toronto?
The Rangers. No, I
What's
agree.
there to think about?
I'm just messing with you. Produces, if the Rangers don't make it to the finals, who comes out of the East?
Man, I don't want to say. I got to give it to Boston. Boston's the only other best team in the East right now.
Coach, if the Rangers
I'm going to go with
are not-
Toronto.
I agree. I got Toronto. if the Rangers don't make it.
Toronto.
Little Ed?
I'm going with Boston. Not making the same mistake. I picked them. I didn't even pick them to make the playoffs.
All right.
Did you
So
guys-
before we wrap
Go
up,
ahead.
though, got this little cartoon from our friends over at Suter Sweet Treats. I love the Sam Rosen drawing. Look at this.
What does it say for the
It
fans
says,
that are
Joe,
watching?
it looks like the Rangers Ed podcast has reached its 100th episode. Well, Sam, we should congratulate them. It's exactly what they would say, too. Hilarious drawing. I got to say, though, technically this isn't our 100th episode, but I guess they anticipated it because she sent it in advance of last week's episode. So she presumed it was going to be the 100th episode. So, Meg, you're going to have to send us another one next season when we do our 100th episode to start the season. But I love the cartoon and really appreciate it. Check them out on Etsy at Suitors Sweets and More, and on Instagram at Suitors Sweet Treats. They're awesome. They do birthdays. They do all kinds of fun stuff where you can order cookies. And Coach, what is the other treat they give? The nuts that you like? What is it, pecans or whatever?
No, the peanut brittle.
Peanut brittle.
Peanut brittle.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So they do all kinds of stuff, and place your order on Etsy with them. They're awesome.
Don't forget to use promo code EDPOD23. And on last episode, I mentioned that Meg sent us a new flavor, the chocolate ganache. So I think we have a surprise because our coach Ed's going to do a live cookie review for the new flavor for Megan.
All right,
Michelle,
we're gonna rip this baby open. I'm not sure.
Coach Ed,
What did Kathy say ganache was again?
Like a mousse, like a chocolate mousse. I don't know, whatever. But Coach wanted to mention that each cookie is vacuum sealed individually, so they definitely last a while and they stay fresh.
Okay,
So
here we go. Still soft. We've had it about almost 2 weeks?
I'd say so, close to 2 weeks. Yeah.
It's almost like a fudge brownie. It's delicious.
Would you recommend maybe putting it in the microwave for 5 seconds? Give it that little nice warm brownie feel?
That's not a bad idea. I might have to try that, but it's very good. Still soft.
Well, he's going to eat it before he tries it. So
How's
I
the
was
ice
at a
hockey skate? Look.
I was at a recent party where they had cookies from a local bakery similar to this. Was not vacuum sealed. Less than 2 days later, it was like biting into a brick.
See that? That is some review.
Great job, Meg, as usual.
So in comparison to the vanilla flavor or the butter flavor, I guess, which one would you prefer?
I'll go with the chocolate.
I like the chocolate. I like the chocolate and the
definitely.
cookie too. I agree.
I like
ate
the
that
chocolate
one
also.
It was
I ate that one
delicious.
This is
away.
real.
It
This
was
is
so
like a
good.
brownie. It's really good.
Yeah. And shout out to Meg and Michelle. They're gonna give it a shot to make me some zero sugar protein cookies. So
Nice.
the Keto Guido, Nikki Baz and a goal can play some cookies too. Place an order for some cookies also. So I'll do a review on those maybe in a future episode.
Nice. Awesome. We got to get Mikey 150 some cookies. I'll ship you a couple. I got like 40. I just won't eat them because I want to preserve them. My wife is about to throw them out. I keep fighting her on it. They've been in the fridge for a while. I got to figure out what to do. So
Send them up.
I might have to buy like 5 shadow boxes to just put them all in the shadow box.
That'll be a good review to see if they withstand going international across the border and they're still preserved.
Is it gonna go? Is it gonna get through customs? That's the question. I don't know. Meg's gonna have to pull some strings.
Mike, do not send Mike cookie stuff. She just does whatever I say. I got to stop saying stuff because she's gonna do it. But anyway, all right. So we'll see what happens. Playoffs start April 17th. Ed, we got a special episode coming on Sunday night, right?
Yeah. I mean, we don't really know yet if they're gonna be playing the Devils or not. But either way, we're going to join Neil over at Devil State of Mind for a YouTube show Sunday evening at 8 o'clock. So if you want to tune into that, we're going to be on the Devil State of Mind YouTube channel. And we're going to do a playoff preview. And by then, we'll definitely know whether or not they're playing the Devils. And, we'll have some nice content for you guys. So check it out.
Yeah, and look, fans, I know we drop every Thursday for those of you that – wait with bated breath for our episodes on Thursday mornings. We may adjust it a little bit. We want to see how the schedule pans out. It looks like we're going to play Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we may record after game 2, before game 2. We're not sure yet. Coach, can you stop playing around with the plastic while I'm talking?
I got it. Yeah.
Jesus. We might we might record after game 2, so we might drop it Friday. We'll let you guys know on social media when to expect the episode once we see the playoff schedule. Mikey 150 will be here to catch us up on all the games around the league and all the matchups next week. And I just can't wait for playoff hockey, man. Whether it's New Jersey or Carolina, I'm ready to go. I told Theo, Ed, I don't know, are you going to put the little Stanley Cup bobbleheads out with the candle again like last year? It didn't work last year.
I don't know. I guess not. I think we got to think of something new. We've got another, what would we call it? The
nice, Mike.
a little mini
like
Stanley Cup.
It was like a shrine,
No,
so
what do we call it?
Here's the thing. We came up with that last year when we needed to, right? When the Rangers were down 3-1, we said, let's go with this. And it worked. So there's no reason in game 1 to have any kind of superstition set up. It's the first moment of adversity that they face. We have to come up with something, so we'll do it. I'm a freak like that.
What do we call it? The candle or something.
It was like
what
a
do
shrine.
they do at church?
Yeah, I went to New York for a game against Tampa in the Garden in round 3, and I had my wife set the shrine up in Miami on the table and light the candle because I needed to have it set. So we'll come up with something. Hopefully there's no adversity, but we'll see.
I would have loved to have heard that conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
you should have recorded that conversation.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
She was like, "What?" And then I also made her order. So I had this thing last year where I had to order Uber Eats for every game because they won when I ordered Uber Eats. So that was my excuse for ordering pizza all the time. So I was like, we got to order Uber Eats. So I made her order Uber Eats while I was at the games as well. I mean,
unreal.
Yeah, it is what it is. So everyone's got their own superstitions. But all right, little Ed's got to run to work. And we're about done here. So Mikey 150, thank you for joining us.
Mikey.
I feel like this episode is shorter than your 150, though. You got to start using a stopwatch. You got to use a stopwatch for your 150, I think.
I want to wish you good luck in the playoffs, but I can't.
No, I wish you good luck if you play the Islanders.
Hey, Coach, good luck.
You're a better man than me, Mike.
Beat the Islanders, Mikey. If you play them, please beat them, please.
All right, I'll let the boys know. I'll pass the message on.
And take down that Marchand jersey.
Yeah. No way. Can't do it. It's part of my identity.
If I was to be a Boston fan, I would have a Patrice Bergeron jersey without a doubt.
Of course, I know,
Well,
Coach.
Stick to the Rangers, Coach.
We called it the
Guys-
vigil. I just went back in Instagram.
Vigil.
There you
The
go.
vigil, the candle vigil.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, enjoy the game against Toronto tomorrow night, fans, or tonight if you're listening. And it'll be a pond hockey game, and then get ready for Monday. It's going to be some exciting times in New York. It's my one time of the year I miss being around the city is when the Rangers are in the playoffs. So it's going to be fun, and I look forward to it. All right, boys. Good episode, and we'll talk next week. Or
Let's go
Sunday.
Rangers.
Let's go,
Good
boys.
night,
guys.
boys.
All right,
Let's go Rangers.
Bruins.
Right, Mikey, say it. Go Rangers.
Go Bruins.
Boo Islanders. We could all agree on that.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
All right.
Love you
Later,
guys.
boys.
Have a good night. Be safe.